All right, guys, let's talk about the 4 things everyone wishes they knew before retiring or hitting that financial freedom number. And trust me, if you're not there yet, you're going to want to start doing these things or understand them right now because it will further prioritize retiring or hitting that financial freedom as soon as possible. Trust me, guys, these 4 are going to be mind blowing, and especially the last one there. Stick around for it because it is absolutely transformational when you understand it. So, number 1, how awesome control of time is. Now, look, we all dream of it. We all kind of know, kind of like when you're on vacation or something else, being able to control your time, what you do, when you want to do it, and stuff like that. But once you hit retirement or financial freedom, in my case, for example, being able to completely control your time is, you have no idea how you could never go back to the way that it was before. Being able to wake up every morning, I choose to get up early, but knowing that if I wanted to, I could just lay here. If I want to do something else and just leave for the day, I can. Hey, want to catch a quick movie at noon because you just happen to, I don't know, see a trailer for something? You can absolutely do that. Having utter, complete, and control of your time is absolutely life-changing. And it definitely makes you kind of question everything else you did in life. Like, why didn't I retire earlier? Why didn't I do a lot of things a lot earlier? Why didn't I pursue financial freedom earlier in life? Because it is so life-changing to just simply be able to control your time. Move your schedule around the way you want it. Build your schedule around you. Now, of course, there's always little side things that you have to do, at particular times and such, but those tend to be few and far between. Your schedule every single day is not dictated by, I need to beat traffic. I need to get ahead of work. Hey, guess what? I don't have to deal with weekend crowds because I can get a lot of things done there whenever they're jam-packed and there's big lines and everything else. I can do those during the week in the middle of the day when everybody else is at work and has to be at work, more importantly. I can choose to take care of that sort of stuff instead. Heck, think about it at work, right? You get what, 2 weeks off a year, maybe a month off a year that you got to kind of, okay, we need to build this around Christmas, build this around Thanksgiving. When you're retired or have financial freedom, you don't have to do any of that sort of planning. You can basically, hey, if it makes more sense to go a little bit earlier, or a little bit later, or maybe extend your trip a day or two, and it saves you thousands of dollars in some cases on flights or hotels or whatever the case is, you can absolutely build everything around it. So not only are you actually have more time to do what you enjoy and you don't have to try to pack so much into one. A lot of times it's actually cheaper because you can choose to go during shoulder season. You can choose to go when it's not peak tourist season because you're not worried about all the other things that everybody else has because you control your time. So most people have an idea as to, hey, it'd be great whenever I retire. I don't have to get up and go to work anymore and such. They don't understand how awesome and how life-changing the actual control is. It is amazing. And it absolutely, I think if everybody could actually experience it for 6 months or a year, I think everybody would be much more prudent with their money, much more prudent with their investing, much more prudent with everything in life, trying to retire earlier or hit that financial freedom earlier because it is so incredible. Number 2, taking your health serious before leaving. Now, everybody knows that you need to take your health serious. But most of us don't do it because we're busy working or busy taking kids here and commuting and all the other things in life, pre-retirement or pre-financial freedom, that suck up so much of our time. So some people are a little bit healthy. Maybe you're not as healthy in some habits as other, but more importantly, you're distracted. So you don't understand the damage that you're doing until you hit that financial freedom number, until you hit that retirement. Then all of a sudden you start to realize, wow, I'm in worse shape than I thought I was. Wow, this hurts a lot more. I'm older than I thought I was, right? I'm more overweight than I thought I was. There's a lot of things you don't really realize because you're so busy, you're so active, so many different things going on, and you need to prioritize your health, but other things, other priorities get in the way. And then whenever you hit that financial freedom number, you're sitting there, you're able to then, hey, I'm going to really prioritize my health here. You start to realize, wow, I was really a lot further behind than I thought. And in some cases, there's a lot of damage done that may or may not be repairable. So take your health serious right now. So that way, whenever that time comes, you can just work on tweaking it and making those little, 2%, 5% tweaks instead of getting to the end and then understanding, wow, I got an avalanche of work to do and my health is not nearly as good as I thought it was because unfortunately with the distractions, with just being busy, with everything kind of collapsing on top of itself per se, you don't realize how far down the rabbit hole of unhealthiness you are until you get to that point. Number 3, nobody cares that you moved on. Now look, this one's going to be hard to hear and you're excited for it. You would be excited for other folks whenever they hit it, maybe in your mind. But the reality is whenever you hit that financial freedom number or you retire, people just don't care. They're stuck doing their work. In some cases, it's not even intentional, just they're busy. They're chasing life, they're chasing their work, they're chasing all these other things. They may be wondering, heck, you just got lucky, right? There may be some jealousy there. There may be just a lot of other things at play that you may not understand on your end. It doesn't matter the reason why. It really doesn't, guys. The facts are, whether it's positive, negative, whatever the case is, nobody's going to care that you moved on, because they're still where they are and you've moved on to something different over here that either they can't do, they don't want to do, or maybe a combination of both. And for a lot of folks, that can be really hard because they're expecting this big congratulations, this big, party. I don't know where it really comes from exactly, but they're expecting, their job to be like, oh, we miss you so much. Can't you come back? That's not the reality in life. Everything is designed to move on without you, unless you own your own business or whatever the case is, then you might very well be the primary driver. But if you're setting up your business properly, you want to be able to step out of your business and have somebody else take control of it, and it continues to run well, continues to thrive, of course, continues to pay you, and you don't need to be there for anything. But it also means that everybody else has kind of moved on in this direction and you've moved on in this direction. And a lot of times that dynamic for a lot of retirees or folks that hit financial freedom is really hurtful, or it's just lonely in a sense because you're going to a very small pool. And oh, by the way, that pool is going to get smaller the older we get because folks are less and less and less prepared for retirement. And I don't see that getting any better. Hopefully we're able to make an impact right here on this channel and get you guys that are subscribed here to that goal point. That's exactly the whole point. The blacklist is to show you exactly how to do it in as little as 1 year and on as little as $300,000. But I know that's not going to encompass the vast majority of folks out there who, unfortunately, they're going to be over here for the rest of their lives. And I want all of you guys to be over here. Maybe we'll have a smaller party over here, but understand that prior friend group, prior family members and everything else, they're not going to care because they've moved on, which pretty much means doing the same thing they've always done. And you've moved on as well over here. You've got to understand that dynamic and you've got to move on as well in life over into this category and understand some things over here are going to disconnect, and that's okay. It's part of the cycle of life, right? It's just like if you guys get out there with kids, at some point in time, I guess you're hoping, you're hoping they leave and they go on and they start their own families and they do their own things. That's the cycle of life. And you got to understand that's also part of hitting financial freedom and retirement is moving on to that next stage in life. And it probably means moving on from most of the folks over here as well. And lastly, you realize you could have taken on more risk. Now, of course, hindsight is always 20/20, but the vast majority of folks out there are too conservative. They're too afraid to take risk. You hear this all the time from older folks, people on their deathbeds. They wish they would have taken on more risk. They wish they would have started that business. They wish they would have made that job leap earlier. Whatever it is, you consistently hear over and over and over again, people wanting to take more risk because we are so risk averse. We actually do the riskiest thing you can do, which is not invest at all, right? I'm so afraid to lose money in real estate. I'm so afraid to lose money in the stock market that you end up not investing at all. And of course, when you finally do make the decision to invest, instead of doing it the proper way and, learning how to invest, spending 6 months studying it or a year studying it before diving in, we just YOLO into whatever the latest hot thing is that everybody at the water cooler is talking about, which by the way, none of them are rich. So why the heck would you listen to them? But different discussion, different time. You dive all into that. Of course, you get burned. You may win short term, but you get burned long term. And then, of course, it feels like investing is riskier than just simply doing nothing and living your life. And that is simply not true at all. You'll spend 6 months or a year watching a television show or studying your favorite, football team or basketball team or baseball team, whatever the case is. Obviously knowing every character of the show, the backstory, reading the books and everything else of that nature, but you won't learn how to invest. You are actually taking the riskiest path possible. And they're not talking about taking that risk. They're talking about actually risking it in terms of starting your own business, investments, doing a lot of other things of that nature. And that hindsight, you kind of go, wow, yeah, when I look back at it, I definitely could have house hacked here. I definitely, should have put more money in the stock market at this particular point in time. A lot of other things of that nature become very clear once you're retired and you have that financial freedom number and you kind of realize, wow, I could have done this. And on top of that, you're enjoying all the good things that we just talked about earlier. But then you kind of look back at it and go, I could have done this 4 years earlier if I would have made some different decisions in life. So understand that right now. If you're not there yet, take on more risk. I'm not talking about stupid risk. I'm talking about calculated, smart risk in regards to investing. And remember, if you want a complete blueprint to include how to invest in real estate and the stock market and other things of that nature to retire on as little as $300,000 and as quick as 1 year, check out the pinned comment down there for the blacklist where we lay all that out for you step by step. You don't have to do anything except for follow the blueprint. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.